History.
How long does it take for the Earth to go around the sun, Spencer?
1 year, 365 days.
That's close. That's close. It actually takes 365 days, 5 hours, 49 minutes, and 1.2 seconds. So, and we all kind of know that's where the leap year and leap day come from, right?
Yeah, from the popular movie.
No. That's first of all, that's not a movie. Secondly, you're thinking of Groundhog's Day, and and secondly,
there is a movie called Leap Year.
and yeah, I thought it was just funny to just deny you. That's yes anding, right?
On both our parts. No budding, that's what that's called.
No, however. That's... Oh goodness. So my story is in the history category here is that do you know that in 1751 in Britain they decided to swap from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar. So the Julian calendar is very similar to our calendar today. It had a leap day, and that's every 4 years. And that's what I thought ours was now. But apparently, the Gregorian calendar, no, it's every 4 years. But Spencer's giving me hand signals. It said 7.
I was going for 6, but I did it wrong.
So, just to recount, Spencer, while being quiet, held up fingers to let me know I was wrong about the number of years. First of all, he was wrong. Secondly, he held up a different number of fingers than he meant to hold up. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I think the hand signals is just a bad idea.
Yeah.
Anyway. It is every 4 years, but in the Gregorian calendar, which we use now, because it's not actually 365 days and 6 hours, it's 365 days, 5 hours and 49 minutes. It's not exactly 365.25. So they swapped over from the Julian to the Gregorian, and now we skip a leap day. We skip 3 leap days every 400 years.
I feel like I've been gypped. All those extra days.
I know, all those extra leap days. If you think you feel gypped, you should think about the people in 1752. So in 1751 is when they decided to make the swap. And to correct the problems that had been caused. So when your year isn't as long as your calendar, the seasons slip slowly. Because the year is a little shorter, so it keeps, winter gets sooner, or however that works.
Is that why it's now... Never mind.
What were you going to say?
I don't know where I'm going. I assume that summer used to be the time it snowed. And it's just, slipped.
I don't
this continual...
I don't think so. It's only adding 3 days every 400 years. So it takes a long time. And when they corrected this, or when they swapped calendars,
this is where the theory of global warming came from. We just never realized. It's
I don't think that's true, Spencer.
Burning up in the winter.
I know you want to fight the global warming alarmists, but I don't think that's a good theory. So when they swapped the calendar over, they had to correct for a number of days that they had been slipping or losing over the thousands of years.
Yeah.
So they just deleted 11 days in September. They just said September 3rd to September 12th are just not going to happen this year. And they made September shorter, which was a pretty crazy thing to do. I feel like it seemed a little wild. So it was basically like the opposite of a leap day. Since they had been having extra leap days, they just took 11 days out of the calendar in 1752. So September was only 20 days long or so.
So I'm wondering, if there's some sort of needs to be a science fiction movie that explores the lost days, kind of like they really existed and they were just artificially cut out, or a Doctor Who episode or something.
I think it was, yeah.
They were deleted because something happened that day, Matt.
Something happened. Soylent Green is people.
I'm going to try to connect this to the global warming thing again.
I think this goes along with your whole fear of science. It's like, sure, there's people out there that think that global warming didn't happen, but Spencer, is the only reason you think that is because scientists are saying it? It's not that you disbelieve that particular science. It's that you disbelieve all of the science, including that. It's all lies. It's all lies and misdirection from the real thing.
Which is those 11 days.
Those 11 days in September of 1752.
It's a vast conspiracy. It's a cover-up.
All right. So I don't think you're completely understanding this calendar change. So I'm just going to continue. Here's a different thing they did. And they say in the same it was called the Calendar Act that Parliament released that they made into law. They also moved New Year's Day to January 1st. New Year's Day, previous to 1752, was on March 25th.
Really?
Yes. I find that to be the most crazy part of this whole thing. That previously to that, if you looked at a calendar, you would see March 24th, 1751, and then the next day is March 25th, 1752. It's in the middle of March. They change years.
You'd think at least be on the beginning of a month.
Nope, it's not. That's what's so wild. I was like, whoa. It was divided by 4 quarter days. Lady Day was March 25th, and it was also New Year's. Midsummer's Day was June 24th. Michaelmas was September 29th, and then Christmas Day was December 25th. And those were the quarter days of the year, and they divided the year up. And it just seems real arbitrary. It's not...
yeah.
But they moved it to January 1st. So not only was September 1752 11 days shorter, but 1751 was 3 months shorter. Because it started in March of 1751, and then it ended in January of 1752. So 1751, they just stole 3 months from it and put them in 1752.
I smell a science fiction trilogy.
Your trilogy about the global warming alarmists going back in time and stealing 1751.
I think there's a lot more conspiracies that can fit into this 3-month period.
Oh yeah, if you could fit 11 days, that's like 9 conspiracies.
Yeah, JFK's got to be in there. I don't know. The possibilities are endless, man.
They were only losing 3 days every 400 years. Can you imagine all the calendar upheaval that had to happen that one year? I'm actually really impressed with the people of 1752 being like, all right. I'm sure it was like a scientist saying to Parliament, hey, we need to do this. And I'm sure business people and whatever were like, what? We don't, it actually, in some reports, there was rioting, which I don't know. Apparently,
seems kind of a strong reaction.
Many historians think that might be exaggerated, the response, but apparently some were saying it rioting. Benjamin Franklin, who was alive at the time, welcomed the change because it was in Britain, but it was all the colonies changed at the same time.
Okay.
So Benjamin Franklin wrote, "It is pleasant for an old man to be able to go to bed on September 2nd and not have to get up until September 14th." Oh, Benjamin Franklin, that wit.
There's also a theory I'm hatching just now that the royal calendar maker just made a grievous error, and then, and they just had to cover that up. They
So
just
you're
made,
saying it was just a clerical error that they lost these years. It wasn't a decree of. It wasn't a decision they made. It was some sort of clerical error. Is what you're
and
getting
then
at.
a lot of saving face.
And then a lot of saving face. It's when the back then, the peasants didn't know science, so they were like, what's wrong? Why is September missing 11 days? And like, science.
Exactly. Somebody called the queen on it the day it happened, and she just made something up.
And it's going to take them like 400 years to lose 3 days. We still haven't lost those 3 days yet. So like, it's really not, it's negligible at this point. No one's going to notice except for astronomers. And do we trust astronomers, Spencer?
No, sir.
No, Spencer doesn't. So yeah, that's pretty neat. It's still, by the way, we're still off by 26 seconds a year. So
The conspiracy continues.
I really think we need to work on this. I think we need another calendar change because our calendar is still slipping one day every 3,323 years.
And who's going to make up for that productivity loss?